Half of you should know me, right? Other half a replica.
Hey, what's going on, guys? ViperV2 here, back with another video, and today I'm going to be talking about some epic cards. In some ways, epic cards can be stronger than legendaries, and it's good to build a strong roster of them to win games and get that sweet legend rank. Now I'm going to be listing them off by giving you the best epics in each class, and then telling you the strongest epic of the class in the whole in the current meta. Remember, guys, this is my opinion, so if you have yours, feel free to write them in the comment section below. Also, make sure to subscribe for quality content like this, and hit that like button with your sledgehammer to make me know that you like this content that I'm producing. With that being said, let's head into the video. Okay, so Warlock is one of the strongest classes in Knights of the Frozen Throne. Not Knights of the Frozen Throne, I meant Kobolds and Catacombs. And there are a couple cards that make it so. A staple card in a Warlock is Twisting Nether, and as long as it stays in Classic, it will see play in most Control Warlock decks, and some Cube Block decks throw it in for that big late game board clear. And since it's in Classic, it won't leave us anytime soon. Now, there's not that that many really strong epics in Warlock, but the strongest one in this meta is obviously Wardlord. When you pull one out of your Possessed Lackey on turn 5, there's really nothing most classes can do at that point, because it stops aggro decks in their tracks and provides a wall that can buy some time for you to set up a combo and destroy your opponent. Priest has seen many different epics that make it a super strong class in the whole, and in fact, it has the most epics in the entire game that are actually worth playing. We can start off with Cabal Shadow Priest, since it's a good card, and it hasn't seen too much play in the meta, but I believe in the future it can be a staple in Priest decks. It's low priority, but if you have any spare dust lying around, I would recommend it. Okay, so next up, Obsidian Statue. It's a really good wall card and a staple in Big Priest, and yeah, if you drop it on a board full of Murlocs against Aggro Paladin, you can gain so much life, and on top of that, kill another minion. Next up, Dragonfire Potion, and since it's gonna rotate out next expansion, it's gonna be a low priority, but it's really powerful, and it's a staple in Dragon Priest, which has seen popularity recently with some new added cards in Kobolds and Catacombs. Next up, we have Curious Glimmerroot, and has seen play in almost all forms of Priest, and it's a good card just for Steel Priest, and yeah, it's really good, nothing else to say. And then a really good card that has seen play in almost all Priest decks besides Big Spell is Shadow Visions, and Shadow Visions it's a really good card. It can trigger your Lyra. It can get that board clear card when you need it. It can get you that Psychic Scream. It can get you that Holy Fire. It can get you that Shadow Word Death. It's super good. Okay, lastly, the best card in Priest is without a doubt gonna be Psychic Scream. It's the best board tier a Priest has ever seen, and it can fill your opponent's deck with a bunch of useless cards. So say you're playing against a Silverhand Recruit deck. Drop that Psychic Scream when the board gets full, and your opponent's deck will entirely be full of Silverhand Recruits. And it's honestly the best and most potent, effective board clear Priest has ever seen, and probably will see. Mage, and Mage has seen quite a few good epics in this current meta, but has fallen off as a tier 1 class this season. But even as a class that's not in the meta, it still has some way to destroy meta decks and get that legend. Starting off, we have Meteor, and Meteor is pretty much guaranteed single target removal with 3 damage to surrounding minions as a bonus. It has seen some play in Freeze Mage and some Temple Mage, and most prominently Big Spell Mage, which has seen play in this meta. And next up, Ice Block. And Ice Block Ice Block is like a really, really good card. With Temple of Secret Mage, you cannot leave this card without it. Like you can't. Being able to deny your opponent the win is almost like too good, and it's a tier 1 epic card, in the mage slot. If you haven't heard, people it's speculated to go into the Hall of Fame because it's so good. Lastly, we have Primordial Glyph. Without a doubt, this card is one of the best epics in Mage in the meta. It has seen play in all Mage decks since release, and being able to discover a card for 2 less mana than what it normally would have cost it is super powerful. Like, it can get you that board clear when you really need it. It can get you that freeze when you really need it. It's just so good. But with that said, let's move on to the next class. Alright, so we have Warrior, and Warrior, there are many very powerful epics like this meta, but there are a few that could help you get a really powerful and decent Warrior deck. Starting off, we have Dead Man's Hand, and Dead Man's Hand, like you can use this full effect in Control and Fatigue Warrior, but it hasn't seen too much play recently. But you can recycle your cards, and that's pretty powerful. Shield Slam is like another really good card, but only if played in the right decks. And it's used as like a super good removal for only a 1 mana. Lastly, the best epic for Warrior at the moment is gonna be Brawl. It's Warrior's go-to for board clear and play in all control archetype Warrior decks. And it also has a chance to leave one of your own minions alive. So there's that, and yeah, that's Warrior. Alright, Paladin. And Paladin, there's really only 2 epics worth listing, but they're extremely powerful. First off, Vilefin Inquisitor, a 1/3 that changes your hero power into summoning a 1/1 Murloc, and it provides so much synergy with Murloc decks, and it's honestly not included for Murloc Paladin. But since it's leaving a standard next rotation, I only recommend crafting it if you really like Murloc Paladin and if you have the dust to do so. Now the most powerful one, and one of the most powerful cards to come out of Kobold's New Catacombs, is you guessed it, Call to Arms, and it's a heavy board swinging card that once it gets played on empty board is very hard to recover from. Being able to pull out 3 2-cost cards is batshit insane, and it can deal so much damage. But other than that, those are really the only two Paladin epics I would recommend. Rogue has really good epics in their class, and it's one of the meta-defining classes right now, along with Paladin and Warlock. Starting off, we have Preparation, and it's been a defining card in Hearthstone history and perfect for Miracle Rogues. It hasn't seen too much play right now, but I still recommend the craft. Next up, Evasion, and Evasion is included in most rogue decks, and it's decent enough for you to include in pretty much all of your rogue decks. And it's Rogue's equivalent of Ice Block, except it doesn't trigger at the end of the game. Finally, the best epic of Rogue is going to be Vilespine Slayer. This monster is an assassinate with a 3/4 body. It is seen play in all rogue decks since release, and for good reason. Destroying a high mana minion for basically free is a monstrous tempo swing and provides that push to win games. Alright, so Druid. This is where all the really good epics have made their home this meta. Starting off, we have Living Mana, which has seen play in almost all aggro Druid decks. Unfortunately, it's very susceptible to board clears, since at 2 health it can die to almost everything. And don't even get me started if your opponent is a priest that plays Psychic Scream. Another good card is Branching Path. And Branching Path is another card that's seen quite a bit of play this season. It provides good card value for its cost, and is one of the cards that we like to say comes in clutch. Ancient of War is also a good card that hasn't seen much play, but it's a defining card in all of Hearthstone's history that honestly it can be a safe craft in the right meta. Finally, the number one obvious epic has to go to Ultimate Infestation. It provides such a massive tempo swing. It refills your hand, kills a minion, provides yourself some health, tops a 5/5 body, all for 10 mana. I'm surprised it hasn't gotten nerfed yet, but what are you gonna do? Shaman. Okay. There's really only one good epic in Shaman, and that's Unstable Evolution. Since having a board full of chock full of minions that are really high statted and having a board full of legendary minions is super good, and it can deal that burst damage to win games. Other than that, Shaman's epics have really dwindled this meta, but hopefully in the next expansion it'll see some really good epics that can help it see play. Alright, to finish the class not legendaries, the class specific cards, we have Hunter. It has overall the weakest epics in all of Hearthstone at the moment, so I recommend saving your dust. Starting off, Call of the Wild is a good finisher for a control Hunter deck, even though that hasn't seen much play all too often. Pre-nerf, it was really good, and even then, like it can still go for that one big burst damage finisher. And Rat Pack is another epic that hasn't seen too much play, but is a really good card provided you have buffs for it. Finally, the best one is Snake Trap, and that this actually has seen play in Secret Hunter, and it can provide board if you don't already have one. But the only problem is Explosive Trap and Freezing Trap are also fine alternatives for this card. Alright, so these are the neutral cards. Now, I'm not going to go over every single good neutral, but I'm going to go over the must-have ones that are going to be pretty strong for your collection. Starting off, we have Carnivorous Cube. It provides so much burst damage along with the 4/6 body, and it can trigger death rattles, and summoning two high cost minions has seen so much play. And honestly, let me just look at Cube Lock if you need any more explanation. Doomsayer is another staple card in Hearthstone's history and provides a good swing to regain that tempo and that you lost, and soak up damage, and provided it can kill all your opponent's minions, and that's pretty good. Next up, Faceless Manipulator is another card that you can use to get powerful minions for 5 mana, provided they're on the board, and they've seen pretty good play in past expansions. South Sea Captain is another card, but that is super good in this meta, but will probably be dead next expansion since patches will be rotating out. But it works really well with patches, and combined with it as the one of the most highest win rates in the entire game. Murloc War Leader is another staple card if you want to play Murlocs, and it's another good card in Hearthstone's history. And even if it got nerfed, it's still staple and still that final swing card to end the game. Finally, you guessed it, I guessed it. It's gonna be Corridor Creeper. Corridor Creeper is literally one of the best card in the entire meta. It's seeing play in all decks. That's how good it is. But for good reason too. Being able to play 5/5s for free is insane, and I'm surprised it hasn't been nerfed yet, honestly. But like, for real though, craft Corridor Creeper and your win rate will go up. Anyways, guys, that's gonna wrap it up. Hopefully this list helped you in some way. Leave a like if it did, and to show me your support. Also, if you haven't already, please subscribe for more gaming content like this. And with that being said, have a great day.